I did not want that again.
We all mind. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on.
All right. All right, everybody. Welcome. So glad everybody is here. We're gonna have a good hangout tonight. Very good. Um, so how was everybody's day? Everybody doing okay? You know, mega school, mega old school, 76. I think each generation brought something special. I really do. Um, Now I know people will get, oh, they don't make music like back in the day, but I think every single generation brought something unique to music. I really do believe that. You know, I think some did it better than others, but everybody still brought something to the table as far as each generation is concerned. Have I heard about Blitter? No. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I want to know. Okay. Blitter is Black Twitter. Oh, okay. So it's a Black social media app? I gotta check that out then. Okay, I'm definitely gonna look into that. Okay. Thank you, J Dog. I mean, hey, the more we can find a place to go where we're not nagged by a bunch of trolls, the better. Because I'm sick of them. I mean, I think they would have a heart attack and die if they had to leave us alone for just one day. I really do. Well, welcome, Victor Lyons. Welcome. Okay, well, that's good because I have an iPhone. I actually have iPhone and Android. I have an iPhone, but my iPhone is not new. And I have my tablet is Android. So I kind of use both. All right. All right. So, what we're going to get into is a little more health. And, I know some of you are doing the dry skin brushing. Just keep that up. It will improve in ways you can't even imagine. And I had someone, and I can't remember who, and forgive me if I don't remember, was asking me about razor bumps. It absolutely does get rid of razor bumps. But, you just have to brush that area every day to get the blood and collagen circulating, and the razor bump should start smoothing out. So dry skin brushing does work on that. Well, that's great. Well, the trolls are always going to be there. You got to understand they have no life. So Black people is their life. They live vicariously through us. So some poor soul that don't probably don't have any friends, no social life. somewhere stashed in their mommy's basement and have nothing but time on their hands to come and bother us. But just ignore the trolls. We don't care about that. Moderators are in the room. So, should they brush over irritated skin? No, what I would recommend, Kathy, is let the irritated skin kind of settle where it's no longer itchy or inflamed. And then once that goes down, then you can start brushing that area. But you should do some type of treatment, like cortisone or something that you can put on there to calm the skin. What I'm going to go over, June Williams, has a lot to do with your hair tonight. Hi, the real Aaron Collins is in the house. Yeah, Neosporin is good. At least it has the antibiotic in there. It'll kill any bacteria on the skin. Yeah, let the skin calm down. So you want to just, wash it with soap and water and just let the skin kind of start healing itself, and then you can start brushing. Well, Water Sniper, they're calling us BIE because they're just looking for any excuse to continue to exterminate us. And it's just not working out so well for them. Notice how ever since they came up with the BIE thing, the mass shootings have all been them. So they're really making themselves look stupid with that. Shoot, they wouldn't have no life in America if it wasn't for us. The reason why they live the life they live every single day is because of our ancestors and what they did, all the work they put into building up this place. They sure didn't build it. And like I said, it's documented their asses didn't work during slavery. So they can't make claims of doing anything. All right. So now let's go over a couple of things. We went over the dry skin brushing, and there is something I want to first, we're going to touch on this before we get into the diatomaceous earth. Now, the brushes that you buy, sometimes when you buy the brush, some of them will be stiff, especially a natural brush. You want to get the natural. Do not get a synthetic brush to use on your skin. Make sure it's a natural brush, a brush with natural bristles. Now, there is a way you can soften the bristles if they're you feel like it's too hard on your skin. And we're going to go over that first. Okay. Yeah, you can put coconut oil on your hair, on your skin. You can cook with it. It has so many uses, it's not even funny. But I put some on my hair too. Usually I put it on my hair damp. And, as it's drying, the oil will absorb right into my hair. And it's really nice on natural hair. I have a lot of natural hair now. I did the big chop back in 2013. So I got 4 years of natural hair growth. So I know all about that. And I do use some of the coconut oil that I have in my hair, but I love my natural hair. I had to learn to love it. Unfortunately, the one downfall about my mom, she liked her hair, straightened and everything. So I went through a big portion of my life having relaxed and straight hair. And it wasn't until like around 2003, I had decided to embrace my natural hair, and I cut all of the relaxed hair off of my head. I mean, that summer, I actually felt good. I don't think I broke a sweat that whole summer in 2013 because I didn't have any hair. I had it all cut off, and now I'm 4 years of natural hair. 4 years. And I really love it. Had to learn to love it, but I love it. All right, so now let's get into, I'm going to share my screen with you. See if I can share my screen. Let's see. Yeah. All right, and we're going to talk about softening your brush. So if you got a brush and it was still a little bit too harsh on your skin, this is a technique that works really well. I tried to get videos with all black people, so but this woman is really good and she goes over how to soften your brush. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video.
Hi, my name is Tracy Balance, celebrity hairstylist and owner of Coif by Tracy Balance. Today I'll be showing you how to soften your bristle brushes. Now, my first tip before I even show you the steps is that you can only do this process with real boar's head bristles. Any synthetic brushes you cannot do this process with. So let's begin. What you need is 1 cup of warm water, and you pour it into a bowl, a shallow bowl where the whole brush can sit in. Then you'll need some virgin olive oil. You'll just add 1 tablespoon to your warm water, and you'll mix it. What you'll notice is that the water and the oil do not stay together for long, but don't worry about that. The warm water will make your brushes absorb the oil. Now, take your bristle brush and lay it face down into the water, leaving it there for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, and we've had ours sitting in now for just about 5 minutes, you take out your brush using paper towels and you pat your brush lightly onto the towel. And using a blow dryer about 3 inches away, you blow dry it on low for about 5 minutes. Now your bristle brushes are softer than ever and ready to use. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Tracy Balance.
Okay. So I don't know if any of you had issues with your brush, but if you bought a brush for your dry skin brushing and you notice it's a little stiff, that's a really good way to soften the bristles. So make sure it's a natural brush that you're using on your skin, but you're not using anything that's harsh, okay? How many of you are dry skin brushing? Yeah, it's very easy. How many of you are dry skin brushing now? Okay. All right, so your dry just started. Okay, good, good. Yeah, once you start doing it, I actually look forward to doing it in the morning because it just feels so good. I like the way it feels when I dry skin brush, you know? And I know it's done wonders to make my skin look good. Oh, okay. Yoruba, Gary, you didn't know about it until today? Okay. You can get You can get a brush from Amazon. They're really cheap. You just need one that has natural bristles. And I have one that has the long handle on it. That way I can do my back. And it's detachable, so I can just brush up my whole body. It don't take long. Like I said, you should be able to brush your whole body in like it takes me about 10 minutes. And then I get in the shower. You can go to any place, even Walmart has natural brushes. You just want to make sure you don't get one that's synthetic. You want one that has the natural bristles. You want me to show you on Amazon? Let me go to Amazon. Let me go to Amazon. I was going to show you something else on there, but I'll show you the brushes again. It's not a problem. And this is for dry skin brushing. You see these? Like this. And they're really cheap. And see, I have one similar to this, that has the detachable handle. And you can take this part off and then just use the brush and then put it back on. I like this because then I can do my back. But these are brushes just for dry skin brushing. Okay, it says right here, natural bristles, remove dead skin and toxins, cellulite treatment, improve lymphatic functions, exfoliates, and stimulate blood circulation. So, as I stated before, when you dry skin brush, you're also stimulating your internal organs because you're increasing the blood flow. Yeah, I use diatomaceous earth on my plants too. Yeah, they're good for your like if you're growing a garden, it'll kill the bugs from eating your plants. So, you can get the food grade. So I'm going to go over that tonight. But, the dry skin brushing, just go on Amazon and just type in natural brush for dry skin brushing. And then once you put that in, it's going to pull up all these natural brushes on the screen. And you can even get, let me go back to it. You can even get the smaller brushes if you want to brush your face, because I do my face, I do my neck, but I use a different brush. I use one that's small. And you can a natural brush for face. And see, these are for your face. See, you can get these 3 for $13.95. And then you just brush your face. And it's nice. It works up the collagen. And if you have wrinkles, it'll actually work out the wrinkles on your face, over time. It works on razor bumps. It'll smooth out your skin if you have razor bumps. If you have any acne problem, all of that will go away just from dry skin brushing. And again, like I had told y'all before, you don't want to wet your skin because it does not have the same effect. It's much better to do your brushing on dry skin. Once the water gets in your pores, it does not have the same effect. So that's for the face. And you can get something like this one for the body. See, top notch beechwood dry body brush extra. So it'll tell you right on here that it's for dry skin brushing. See? And that's for the face. And this one is for the body, dry body brush right here. And it's not bad. That's $5.98 for that one. Or if you want one like I have with the long handle where it's detachable, This one is $14.99, and it's not bad. You get the little face brush and you get the body brush. So it's sort of like a kit. So you can get that one. Bath body brush for dry skin brushing. All right, so there's many for you to choose from. This is the one I actually got for $8.88. It's a removable long handle brush for dry skin brushing, remove dead skin, toxin, brush, exfoliation, shower brush, massage, scrubber, dry skin, body, 16 inches. And I like it because I do my back and then I detach the brush off of the handle, and then I do the rest of my body. So that's not bad, $8.88. So, this will give you some ideas. So you want a natural brush. So if you get a natural brush and it's filling too hard, you can do just what you saw in the video, warm water, olive oil, let it soak for 5 minutes, and then tap it with a paper towel and then blow dry it, and should soften the bristles. Remember, you can't do that with a synthetic brush. Synthetic brushes cannot be softened. Right. So you may have to order it online, Just Glowing. If you can't find a natural brush in your Walmart, then I would just recommend you try to purchase one online. The Walmart near me does have the natural brushes, but I guess maybe they're all different. Yeah, I have a shower filter. That's very, yeah, black magic. You're right. So remember, it does so many things to your body. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, like I said, it improved my skin immensely when I started doing this. Yeah, yeah. If you can't find it anywhere else locally, just get a natural brush. The natural brushes are best for, brushing your skin. I would not recommend synthetic. That can probably damage your skin, if anything. Yeah. So, like I said, if you have any skin issues, the dry skin brushing will clear it up. Like if you have hyperpigmentation, a scar, or a raised scar on your skin, it will soften and start flattening the scar on your skin. And over time, it's going to break up the scar and the scar will start disappearing. But of course, that takes time. You're not going to see that happen overnight. Okay. So now, okay. I'm just reading what y'all have there. Okay, now we're going to, yes, I am in New Jersey. Now I have scars, hate scars. Oh, dry skin brush every day, Kathy. Kathy, I promise you, those scars are going to go away. They're going to go away. If once you start working the collagen up, it's going to break those scars and they're going to start flattening. The first thing you're going to notice is they're going to start flattening and they're going to start feeling softer. And then after a while, they're going to start diminishing over time. If you have scars, then you definitely need to be doing dry skin brushing. It is a natural way to get rid of scars. And like I said before, if you're going to do this, when you get in the shower, you also need to get natural soaps. Try to get away from the Dials and the Coast and all those different soaps out there, and get yourself some natural soap for your body. It doesn't matter, Kathy. They can be scars that you've had since childhood. If you start dry skin brushing, you'll definitely see an improvement. I mean, it works on old scars too. But yeah, so make sure you get a natural soap and start using that every day on your body. You can get an organic soap. Exactly. You want um, plenty of fruits, vegetables, and some good alkaline water. Right. You need the natural soaps. The natural soaps. Or the soaps that say organic. You don't want the garbage that they sell at your local pharmacy. You don't want that. Yeah, Castile soap is good. And soap with goat milk, um, charcoal, eucalyptus, shea butter. You can get soap with the shea butter in it. But just get a natural soap, organic soap. Yeah, you can get soap made with olive oil, coconut oil, absolutely. I used to do Duoson. In fact, I've been using that for the last few months. Yeah, I mean, look, we got to get back to what our ancestors did. Our ancestors didn't buy Dial soap and and Lever 2000. They didn't buy that. They had to make their own soaps. They had natural soaps. And we got to get back to doing what's good for our bodies, and what's good for your body are the natural products. Okay. So now we're going to get into diatomaceous earth. All right. So let's get into that. We're done with the brushing. Now, some of these stories you might have heard for the first time. I tried to get testimonies of Black people so you can see how many are using diatomaceous earth. And hopefully you'll enjoy these. Cave soap, Lisa? Y'all so crazy people. Yeah, Black African soap is good. No, we don't want cave soap. I don't even know what the hell that is, but I'm sure it's not good. Yeah, no, you don't need it. Look at the ingredients in those bars of soap, that they manufactured. That stuff is garbage. No wonder why they're walking around with skin that look like it aged 20 years ahead of everybody else. No cave soap, y'all. Y'all a trip. Okay. All right. So let's get into the diatomaceous earth testimony, and then we'll get into the benefits of it. So let me go ahead and play this video. None of them are real long. So, and we'll talk in between. But this is the first one. This person's name is Gail Jenkins, and she was having hair problems. And I want you to see what diatomaceous earth did for her hair issue.
My journey started by going to two different dermatologists to try to figure out why I had the bald spots on my scalp. Of course, I took medication. I took the hair and nail vitamins. I put different ointments on my scalp. I even tried different shampoos, but I didn't see any results. In January of 2014, I started taking the Diatomaceous Earth, and this is when I actually saw results. Not only did I see the difference, but my family and friends could see it as well. There are no longer any bald spots on my scalp. My hair's pulled back. You don't see any bald spots. And you can actually see how my hair has grown from the root since taking the Diatomaceous Earth. Here is actually a little clip of where you can see the growth. Look at that. You see the growth from the root since taking the Diatomaceous Earth? I would like to thank Dan and Aubrey of Juices Wow for introducing me to the Diatomaceous Earth.
Okay. Now, did you see that? So anybody that has any issue with hair that won't grow, this is a real good solution. And let me tell you, a lot of natural haired Black women have gotten really good results from this. Diatomaceous earth is actually silica, okay? And it's good for your skin, your nails, your hair. And it's also, a lot of people report that they lose weight when they start taking this as well. So if you have like issues with thinning edges, or your hair just don't grow as fast as you want it to, this is going to make a difference. And it's a natural product, ladies and gentlemen. You can get this, and I'm going to show you on Amazon the type you want. You don't want, because there's two types. There's diatomaceous earth for pools. You definitely don't want that because it's chemically treated. And then there's a second kind that is food grade. Yes, you take it orally. You take it orally. And it's a natural product. You can even use this on your plants to keep the bugs from eating your vegetables. I throw it on my garden. I put it on there. So as soon as the bugs try to eat your garden, they actually die. This kills them. It cuts them up on the inside. Yes, you can. Some people brush their teeth with it. I've heard of people that take it and they use it to brush their teeth. Now, I've never tried that, but I have read, oh, it's great for bones. Yes, it is. We're going to go over the benefits. But if you have any hair, skin, or nail issues, oh, you're going to see a huge improvement. Definitely. No, it's not bad for the lungs at all, Larry. You're going to see a lot of people have good results from this. The food grade don't hurt you. Just keep that in mind. Food grade diatomaceous earth is not harmful. I don't know what you're trying to say, Vanguard. No, cockazoids actually use this too. Okay. All right. So let's get into another testimonial because it's good for detoxing too. So if you haven't detoxed your body in a while, when you start taking the diatomaceous earth, the first thing you're going to notice is running to the bathroom because it automatically makes your body detox itself. Well, yeah, it should kill head lice. It kills most insects. So if they put it on their head, yes. In fact, a lot of people will even buy this for their pets. They will just put a little bit of diatomaceous earth on the coat of their pets, and it keeps the fleas and ticks off. No, not food grade, Larry. Not food grade. You got to make sure the silica is food grade. If it's food grade, it's not bad for you. If it does not say food grade, that's what you don't want to touch because that silica is chemically treated. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that silica. No, no, not the kind that's in your handbags and your shoe boxes. No, it's totally different from that. That's not food grade, by the way. That's chemically treated silica. That's not food grade. That's not, I'm not talking about anything like that. That's not the silica you want. And it doesn't look the same. It doesn't look the same as the one that you get in your shoes or your purse. No, totally different. Okay. All right, let's go to the next video here. Let's see. Is this yeah, that's Gail. All right. Play this one.
Hello, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk to you about the benefits of diatomaceous earth. Okay, diatomaceous earth. Hopefully I'm saying it right because I have a problem saying that. Okay, I've been taking this for I would say about 2 years now. Diatomaceous earth. I found it to be extremely beneficial, and it's been very, very helpful for me. First off, I just wanted to point out that you have to make sure that you purchase the food grade diatomaceous earth, just to make sure that it's been tested and it's good for humans to ingest. And the one I have looks something like this. If you can see this, diatomaceous earth. It's like a canister of it. And actually, I just keep reusing this because I actually bought like a 10-pound bag of it, which was like huge, and I only paid like 20 bucks. So I have like 3 years worth of diatomaceous earth. You just have to make sure that it says that it's food grade. Okay, now I'm going to share with you what the benefits are of diatomaceous earth. There are several health benefits to using this on a daily basis. First off, it's a natural source of silica. Silica is very beneficial because silica is required for your tendons, your cartilage, your blood vessels, and your bones, your heart, your liver, your lungs. So silica is one of those herbal supplements that's very beneficial to the body, and a lot of us are actually lacking silica. And instead of taking like a silica supplement by itself, a silica pill, this is a very inexpensive way to ingest beneficial silica into the body. Another health benefit to diatomaceous earth is it promotes healthy skin. So if you want like really healthy skin, you can actually apply it directly to your skin and remove all the dead skin cells. A lot of people often use it to make toothpaste. I haven't tried that, but it's also another option. It's very helpful for your heart. It supports your heart health, and diatomaceous earth does. And it has calcium, sodium, magnesium, iron, and other trace minerals that are in the diatomaceous earth. And another reason why I use it, because it's a natural pesticide. It removes it's like a detox. It removes anything that's not good for the body, especially in your intestines. Like if you have any parasites or anything like that, they don't like the diatomaceous earth because, you'll be getting rid of them pretty soon. So
So those are the benefits to the diatomaceous earth. Actually, I think there's one more. Oh, I kind of covered that. It's an internal cleanser, which is why I use it like a detox. So diatomaceous earth has been around for, over 30 million years. So it's like it contains remnants of algae plants and just the earth's surface. So it's actually really beneficial for us to ingest. What I typically do is I'll use in the morning and before I go to my bed, I'll take a spoonful of the diatomaceous earth and I'll put it in some spring water and I'll drink it that way. So I do that twice for the day, once in the morning and once right before I go to my bed. And that way I do the 2 servings of the diatomaceous earth. I have seen a lot of positive results to this, especially if you're drinking a lot of water that isn't necessarily pure, that's not like a spring water or distilled water. It helps you to remove all the toxins from your body, so it's very beneficial. I hope someone has benefited from this video. Thank you for watching my video. If you did like it or you found it beneficial in some way, please remember to thumbs up, and I love you. I just want to work with you, and I believe together we can make this world a better place. We can, become the greatest versions of ourselves. Thank you and have a nice day.
Okay. Okay, so, but believe me, when you take this, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to notice how you got to go to the bathroom because it automatically detox the body and it cleans out your intestines in ways you can't imagine. That's why a lot of times people will tell you about weight loss from taking diatomaceous earth. They'll notice a difference in their weight. I noticed that too. In fact, I didn't even know I lost weight until one day, like a month after I started taking it. I noticed my clothes were looser. Okay. So now let's get into, let's see if I can find it. All right. Some of the benefits of taking diatomaceous earth. So as you heard on the video, a lot of people saw results with their hair. And that's a big thing that I have heard among many Black women, especially if they had thinning edges or some spots in their head that was thin. The diatomaceous earth actually corrected that issue with their hair. Or if you had a problem growing your natural nails, you'll notice that problem will disappear fast. Your nails are going to start growing and they're going to be looking nice and healthy. And also your skin. Any skin problems that you've had, this will definitely clear it up. So now what does this do as far as what diatomaceous earth is? It's a mineral. It's a natural mineral that comes from the earth. That's why it's called diatomaceous earth. It is mainly silica, but it's the kind of food grade silica that's found in vegetables, including green leaves and onions and whole grains. And of course, for strong bones, you need silica. And that's why you notice the nails, and because it's had like they said in the video, it has a lot of calcium and iron and magnesium all mixed into it. And so it promotes all of the nice skin and gives you a nice appearance altogether. Does cell repair. It works well with your heart and keeps your cardiovascular system flowing as it should. It gets rid of any impurities in the body that you may have. And if you know someone that has Alzheimer's or in the beginning stage of Alzheimer's, it actually removes, a lot of times that's from aluminum in the system, and it will remove all of the aluminum that's in the system. All right, so now let's take a look at, now here's another one. So it builds bones, skin, teeth, nails, prevents wrinkles, keeps skin beautiful, promotes hair growth, and also a lot of people say weight loss too. But let's look at diatomaceous earth. So you see where I have typed here, diatomaceous earth, food grade. You want the one that says, excuse me, food grade, because that's the one that's for human consumption. And actually, ladies and gentlemen, you probably ingest this already. There are a lot of people that grow food, and that food that you get in your supermarket, a lot of times it was treated with diatomaceous earth. You just don't know it was, but it was. Especially if you're buying the organic food or the natural food, opposed to food that was treated with, pesticides. All right, so here's right here, diatomaceous earth, food grade, 10 pounds, $19.99. Or you can get a 2-pound bag from Amazon for $8.99. Again, always make sure it says food grade. If it don't say food grade, don't buy it. Food grade only. And here, this is a good picture. This is actually what it looks like. It's like a powdery. Some people put it, they sprinkle it on their food or put it in their drink, or you can eat it straight if you don't mind. It's kind of gritty. Like if you mix it in with your water, it really don't have a bad taste, but it will taste chalky if you want to do that. If you want to just put it in your juice or a smoothie, I don't know if any of you do juicing or smoothie, you can mix it in with that. The thing is, when you mix it in with any type of fluid, you got to kind of keep mixing it because it tends to settle on the bottom if you don't keep mixing it over and over and over. No, it won't. I've been using diatomaceous earth now for about a year, and I'm still alive and I don't have any belly problems. So it's okay. Like I said, just make sure it says food grade. That's the only kind you should be able to ingest with no problems. And you just need 1 tablespoon. I recommend, some people do it twice a day, some just once. I only do it once in the morning, and that's it for me for the rest of the day. I don't do it, like the lady did, 1 in the morning and then 1 before she go to bed. I don't do it that way. I just do it once in the morning. It does help with diabetes. It does a full detox of your body, especially when you're not used to taking it. Can you consume it, but it's fatty? No, it's not fatty at all. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking to Kathy. So it's a healthy, yeah. Yeah. Are you talking about coconut oil? Yes. Hi, Melanation. Yes, you can consume it as long as it says on their food grade. Yeah, you can put it in your smoothie. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, Nika. Um, yeah, you know what? I actually use coconut milk. I have some coconut milk in my refrigerator right now. I like the almond milk too. I'm fine, Melanation. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well too. Thank you, Victor Lyons. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can't drink cow's milk. The last time I had cow's milk, it felt like a brick was sitting in my stomach. I'm lactose intolerant. I can't drink cow's milk. Every time I drink it, I feel like something heavy is in my stomach. I never tried pea protein milk. I'll have to look into that. I never tried that before. This morning I had a smoothie made with coconut milk and mango, and it was really good. Yeah, goat's milk. I know people that say they do better with goat's milk than they do cow's milk. I don't know what it is. Cow's milk always makes me feel sick. A lot of Black people are lactose intolerant. I just don't think it's one of those things we should be having. That's what I concluded as far as cow's milk is concerned. That's for a calf. And really, all that is really mainly for white people because they had such a terrible time with calcium, and they still do. This is why a lot of white women have the osteoporosis. All of that calcium and cow's milk, that was for them. And it's also why many of them will have broken hips when they get elderly, where Black women don't suffer the broken hip like the white women do. Well, Loretta's downstairs. In fact, she's been downstairs for a while. Yeah, a lot of Black people are lactose intolerant. hmm And cow's milk, I guess, is good if you're a calf. It's perfect. Yeah, I can take a picture of her and show, she's just a black and white cat, but she's mostly black. Just have some white markings on her. But she's a down cat. Yeah, I don't think dairy is good either. I'm sorry. Like I said, I haven't done well with cow's milk probably in the last 10 years. I've had a lot of problems with it. Well, they mess up everything. They never I think it would kill them to leave stuff in their natural state. Hi, S. Wiseman. I think it would kill them if they left anything in its natural state. They tamper with too much stuff, and it's annoying because a lot of times I will go out and I want to find, more natural things, and they got all kinds of preservatives and everything, and I can't stand that. I hate that. It actually works for a lot of things. I'm not sure about that, cave mutt killer. I'm not sure, but it does work for a variety of things. Let me go back to the diatomaceous earth. Um, let's see. Right here, it's mineral rich. DE, composed primarily of silica, sorry, and is all natural, no additives, no contaminants, and other chemicals packaged in an FDA compliant facility. This natural blend will work wonders on your hair, skin, nails, and body. No more eczema. fuller, luscious hair, strong nails, enhanced mood swings. So if you're going through like menopause, this will kind of tamp down on the mood swings and kill those sugar and bread cravings when you ingest DE. Okay, so there's all kinds of use, and this is what it looks like. If you can see this on the screen, it's look like a powdery substance. It has many uses. If you have a flea problem at your house because you may have a dog or cat, this will kill the fleas. You can even put a little of this in your carpet and it will kill the fleas. So it has many, many uses. Okay. So all you need is a tablespoon. You know, you just need a tablespoon a day. You can do 2 tablespoons if you like, but really technically you just need 1. Yes, this brand 83N, it will kill virtually any bug, and including scorpions. Do you know DE can kill scorpions? It can even kill scorpions. Yeah, if you have any like thinning hair or you just want more hair growth, DE is real good for that. I can tell you one thing, Kathy, quite a few Black women I know that do DE said they saw an improvement in their hair. Okay, so let's listen to, I got some more testimonials here. Let's see. All right, here's a good one. This is a woman that was suffering from migraines, and it actually took her migraines away.
Hi, my name is Beverly Kolar Cordell, and I want to say thank you for stopping in on my channel, Native Touch Natural. If you saw my previous video, you saw me talking about the It Works, It's Vital vitamins, and I mentioned there was going to be a part 2 where I show you a second part, another supplement I added which helps me with my migraine headaches. So right now I'm going to talk about the supplement known as food grade diatomaceous earth. Food grade diatomaceous earth. So I really want you to get that because it's a long word to spell. So really get the way that's spelled. And it's important that you look for food grade diatomaceous earth, because if you don't buy the food grade version, it's not for human consumption. So for humans to take it, it must be food grade diatomaceous earth. So I want to talk to you about that. I want to share with you a little story. Then I'm going to just mix it and show you what the diatomaceous earth looks like and just give you an idea of what it tastes like. First off, in the other video, I did mention that the It Works is Vital vitamins and minerals were helping me with my migraine headaches. I mentioned how they greatly reduced the frequency of my headaches and greatly reduced the intensity of the pain of my headaches. So then I wanted to take it a step further because I do eat a very well diet and I know how to stay away from the food triggers. And I am drinking plenty of water now to stay hydrated. And I also try to avoid heat. My body doesn't like high heat, so I try to avoid that at all costs. But at any rate, I still would get migraines, not as intense and not as frequently, but I was still getting them. So I was looking for another way that I can add on to reducing even the headaches I get now. So let me say this. If you've never heard of food grade diatomaceous earth, I highly encourage you to look it up, because I purchased it because I wanted an added benefit for my headaches. My husband also wanted to try it because there was a testimony we read where it said it helped with tinnitus. And my husband has suffered with tinnitus in one of his ears for as long as I've known him. And we've been together for 28 years. So that's a long time, and he had it before that. So he wanted to try it for that reason. I wanted to try it for my migraines. Although my vitamins were helping me a great deal, I was still looking for anything else that could add that would completely eliminate my headaches. That's what I was looking for, a way to eliminate them. So, but I want you to look up food grade diatomaceous earth because it has a host of benefits. And I'll just name a few before I show you what this looks like and give you an idea what it tastes like, okay? And it's good for lowering cholesterol. It's good for lowering blood pressure if you have high blood pressure. It is good for inflammation in the joints. It is good for getting rid of parasites in the body. If you use it on your animal, it'll also kill fleas and ticks. If you have bed bugs in your house, thank God I've never had that, but if you have bed bugs, you can completely rid your house of bed bugs with the diatomaceous earth. I'm also going to be trying it in the spring because it says it'll keep bugs out of your house. And Lord knows, I don't like spiders. I just don't. I cringe at spiders. And I don't like them in my house. So I'm going to be sprinkling that down around because, again, it's safe around humans and animals, but it's a killer on bugs. I know, please don't be writing me no notes. Everybody's like, oh no, she's talking about killing bugs. I'm just saying, I don't want the bugs in my house, and we'll leave it at that. So we're going to make up a glass of diatomaceous earth right now, and I'm going to walk you through what you need to do. First off, what you need is a glass. You want to mix it up in a glass. If you're not familiar with diatomaceous earth, let me explain this to you. Diatomaceous earth is the ground up fossil shell of the diatoms, which is found in large bodies of water. And so what it is a natural form of silica. Our bodies used to get adequate amounts of silica just in our food, but we no longer get it that way now because of all the damage that's done to the soil and the environment, the elements in our air and all those things. So we don't get the natural silica anymore in our food like we used to. So we have to reach for supplements to get silica. Well, the food grade diatomaceous earth, also known as DE, is a natural form of silica. So it's good for those things I mentioned before: blood pressure, cholesterol problems, parasites, joint pain, migraines, tinnitus, and it's also been known to help with a host of other things. I had two things on the tip of my tongue and they just slipped me, but maybe it'll come back, maybe. We hope it will. But let me just walk you through. If you've never done a detox, it's detoxifying. That's what it is. It detoxes the body naturally. If you've never done a detox before, you want to start off slow. You can take up to 3 tablespoons of DE on a daily basis. However, most professionals agree that only 1 tablespoon is necessary on a daily basis. But if you've never detoxed before and you don't know what that feels like to detox, because the first time I detoxed was back in 2005, and let me tell you, when you first go through it, it can feel like you're getting the flu. I've never had the flu, but that's what people say. The flu is like, those symptoms are similar to that, the detoxing. So your body is ridding itself of toxins and all those things while you detox. So it can make you feel pretty crappy for a few days, but then after that, you feel fabulous, let me say. So don't be afraid to detox because it's a necessary step to go to better health. So if you've never detoxed before, what you want to do is start off with 1 teaspoon size of diatomaceous earth mixed in a glass of water or a juice, or you can sprinkle it in your food if you so choose. But I find it's better from my reading, because I haven't put it in food, but I found from reading that it's better to put it in a beverage. I just use mine in water. Some people put theirs in juice, but I just put mine in water daily. So because my body has done a full detox, and I usually do a full body detox once a year, but now that I'm taking the food grade Diatomaceous earth, I can eliminate that step altogether because I'm daily detoxing. And so I started taking this exactly 7 weeks ago, and I have noticed a host of benefits. The first thing that I want to talk about that I noticed, because that was the whole intent of making this video in the first place, was the reduction again in my migraine headaches. Although my vitamins had greatly reduced the frequency and greatly reduced the intensity, since I started taking the Diatomaceous earth, I only had one headache in 30 days. And normally that's not normal for me. I've only had one headache in the past 30 days, okay? And it didn't even last as long as they normally do. Because since I started my vitamins, my headaches would normally last like a day, maybe two, where they used to last 3 to 4. So a day, maybe 2 days. But when I had this last headache a couple of weeks ago, it only lasted 1 day. And it wasn't so debilitating to where I just couldn't function well. It wasn't that intense. It got nowhere near that. So I know that the DE is working in addition to me taking my vitamins. So let me say, again, if you're not used to taking, oops, and I was showing a half a teaspoon. If you're not used to taking Diatomaceous earth, you want to start off small with a 1 teaspoon. But because my body is used to it, I'm going to do a full tablespoon. So let's just start to make the glass. Now, I bought from this website called earthworkshealth.com. I bought a big 10-pound bag. Well, they also have it on eBay, the company Earthworks Health. I'll say it one more time, Earthworks Health. They have it in a variety of sizes, and since both my husband and myself wanted to take it, and it was just more cost beneficial to buy the big bag, we ordered the big bag, the 10-pound bag, from their account on eBay because it was cost less than what it would cost on their actual website. But choose the way you like, because with eBay you do have to have a PayPal account. So choose the way that's most preferred for you. So we start off with 1 tablespoon. And you want a well-rounded tablespoon. So because we ordered the 10-pound bag, we keep ours stored in 2 bins like this. I have another full bin, so it was like 5 pounds each. 5 pounds fit in each one of these bins, so I have 2 that was hosting it. So you start off with 1 tablespoon if your body's used to detoxing, or if you want to quickly get the toxins out of your body. If not, then start off with 1 teaspoon and gradually work your way up to a tablespoon. So a tablespoon of DE, and I'm going to do this because I want to tell you something. The first time I smelled this stuff, you can see, did you see what that looked like? I'm sorry, but did they see? Did you see? But the first time I smelled this, it to me reminded me of a very faint scent of vanilla. I don't know why, but it kind of faintly smells like vanilla to me. And so because I just mix mine in water, and I only drink purified water, of course, drink the type of water that you prefer, whether that's, distilled or a spring or whatever, but I drink purified. I have a English Schmidt container over there in the corner, but I don't feel like walking over there to get it, so I'm just going to open up my bottle of water. This is Deja Blue, if anybody's wondering. This is what I drink from the bottle, is Deja Blue. I can't drink from the tap here where I live because our tap water is horrible. It's so full of lime that I don't trust drinking it. So I would just pour about 9 ounces of water into the glass. Now, you have to stir it well because it stays suspended. It doesn't dissolve easy, so it stays suspended, but you have to stir it well to really dissolve it, and you want to drink it down as soon as you stir it in. Now, there are days, not many, because most times I just drink it plain. I'm going to stir that in a minute. There are days where I will add just a little bit of this. This is grade B, organic grade B maple syrup, and grade B is definitely better for your body than grade A. So there are times when I will add a little bit of this, just a little bit, maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon or so. And then I would add just a little bit this, which is organic vanilla extract. I'm not going to add it in today. for people who wouldn't be able to swallow this, drink this plain, and you want a little sweetness in the taste, this is what I've added in mine, only on occasion though, because I actually don't mind it plain. I don't mind it. And you drink it down so fast, who has time to notice the taste? So I'll drink this, the organic vanilla extract or organic gravy maple and organic gravy maple syrup mixed in. So 1 tablespoon with 9 ounces of water, and then you stir it well. You want to make sure, because you can tell when it's stirred well, you won't see chunkiness at the bottom. And that looks like it's stirred pretty well. So see the color? That is just beige. You know, looks like almond milk. Okay, and so I actually don't have a problem with the taste of this, just plain. It doesn't bother me at all. I just chug it down in a few swallows and it's over with, okay? It leaves a little chalky texture on your tongue, just a little bit, but not much. 2 gulps, 1 more to go, but I need to stir it a little bit more. It's starting to settle again on the bottom. I said you gotta drink it fast once you mix it up. Okay, so we'll get this down, last swallow. And that's pretty much it. Doesn't leave milk now. Doesn't like I drink milk, at least I hope. I can't see myself. But let me just tell you just a few of the benefits I found since I've been drinking the food grade Diatomaceous earth for 7 weeks now on a daily basis. I have found that it has definitely indeed reduced my migraine headaches to a whole nother level. Greatly reduced the intensity and the frequency, again, in addition to the vitamins. I have also found that it definitely keeps your colon clean. It definitely works on that. It keeps you so cleaned out. And it's not painful, you know, to feel it working through your body. It's no pain, at least not for me. I can't speak for anyone else, but there's no pain associated with it. But you can feel it actually binding to the walls of your colon and just, you know, clean. You can actually feel the smooth move. It's really smooth. Movement, and then it does keep you regular. Now, if you don't drink enough water, if you don't get enough at least 8 glasses a day, it can actually cause you to feel a little constipated. Okay, it can cause that because you need enough water in your body to help flush it out of your system. So you want to do that. And this is an added bonus. I'm going to say, it's helped me with my headaches. I can definitely feel, you know, it working in my colon, although I was pretty regular anyway. I didn't have a problem in that area, but I could feel it working even more. And I also noticed that I can feel, because it helps to strengthen your gums and the enamel of your teeth, I can actually feel that happening in my mouth. I can feel it, because I can feel, you know, something going on in my mouth where my mouth was starting to get a little sensitive because I'm postmenopausal, and the body changes so much when you're postmenopausal and things do happen in your mouth. And I was starting to feel, you know, my gums would start to bleed a little bit more when I brushed, and I go to the dentist regularly, so that's not the issue. But with the DE, I noticed that, you know, my teeth and gums are feeling stronger. My nails have become like razor sharp, and I keep my nails low because I do natural hair, and they have become razor sharp. I hurt myself when I have to scratch. It's like little razors on my skin, and it's so sharp now from the strength, because again, the DE is natural silica. So I'm not going to stand here once again and hear the whole science behind it. I want you to do a little homework for yourself. Go on the internet and Google Diatomaceous earth. You got that spelling right? Diatomaceous earth. D-I-A-T-O-M-A-C-E-O-U-S. Diatomaceous, second word, earth. But again, you only want the food grade. Google that word, look it up for yourself, see all of the benefits. If you go to earthworkshealth.com, you can read so many testimonies that just may make you think about taking DE for yourself. I encourage it. So thanks again for watching my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. If all the links are in the comment box, you'll see links to the different websites I mentioned. Okay, thanks for watching.
Okay. I know that one was kind of long. Okay. So, like I said, there's many benefits. And you know what, just glowing, you just reminded me of something. When I first started using DE, the first thing it did was I kind of had a little sore throat from it, but it passed in a few days and I started feeling good. But one thing I notice, another thing since I've been using it, I have also noticed, I it gives me more energy. It seems like I have more energy since I've been taking it. Oh no, do we have a troll in the house? Yeah, food grade peroxide. Yeah, Amazon has that. You can get that too. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, here's the food grade peroxide. Okay. Okay, got a troll in the house. Just look at it this way. They have no life. That's why they're here. They have nothing else to do. Yeah, yeah. I think it drives them crazy if they don't know what we're doing and what we're saying. It just makes them crazy. You would think you would think they would be more into being around each other, but they're not. That just go to show you many of them aren't even into being around their own people. They would much rather look at us and worry about everything we're doing. That's how it is. Well, good job, mods. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's up with them. Well, we never troll them. They're too boring to troll. Okay, y'all are too boring to troll. That's why we don't troll you. You're too boring. Your conversations are not interesting. You're not interesting enough to troll. Thank you, Vanguard. Yeah, yeah. I actually did a video on that that's going to be coming out tomorrow on, in fact, my Patreons already have it. If you're my patrons, you already get the videos before everybody else. But yeah, I saw they gave 20 years. Oh, you'll start seeing results immediately, Jada T. The first thing I noticed when I first took my DE was I automatically went into detox. My body started detoxing immediately after I took it. You know, that IQ test is such a fraud. It's just as fraudulent as they are. That test is not the be all of intelligence. It's a test that made them look intelligent. They kept failing it multiple times. That's why it had to keep being revised. And like I said, look around America. You got people of all different racial groups here in America, but the IQ test is all Caucasian. Now, does that sound like a fair test? Give me a break. These people have cheated their way to the top. They didn't get there from no hard work. They cheated, killed, lied, steal. That's how they got to the top. They did not get there through no intelligence. You're right. Oh, well, thank you. That troll got on my nerve. If I make a video about a troll, then that means they really they got on my nerve bad. They're not interesting enough to troll. Black people don't troll them. They're not interesting. They're too boring to troll. I mean, seriously, how many of those conversations do they have that you feel like being involved in? None. They're not interesting. Thank you. Thank you, the real Aaron Collins. Yeah, it's a garbage test. Kathy, the test is garbage. I mean, if it's all Caucasian, that should tell you something's wrong with it right there. He didn't know what melon. Now that's a dumbass right there. No, Mr. Lawrence 777, seven. They live vicariously through us. They're boring. They have no life. That's why they keep trolling us. It's a troll. They have nothing to do. They have nothing to do. Literally. These are not busy people at all. But yeah, they got to come to us because they have no life. We literally gave them a life from slavery all the way up to now. We are the ones that literally gave their asses a life. And it makes me laugh how they tell that, well, you should be glad we brought you over here to Africa. You living so much better. No, they should be glad that we built this country up because they're living so much better off of our free labor for centuries. You see, they done flipped the switch. They done flipped everything around again, trying to brainwash us into believing that they did us a favor. We gave them the biggest favor ever by building a country at no charge. Nobody got a bigger favor than they did. Yeah, they didn't come up with nothing. Everything came from us. I tell you, that video I put out showing the cell phone, the car, were our inventions in the internet. Oh, I had them going. Oh, they really trolled that video. And then they, of course, came back naming all these white people claiming they invented stuff, and they didn't. Those are not the inventors of the car, the internet, and the cell phone. The biggest inventions came during slavery and during the Reconstruction, and it came from our people. No, we don't need them. They need us. They need us. That's why they never let you go after slavery. They didn't. They kept you right here, right under their nose. And plus, they're dying off. How are you going to maintain a society and your ass is dying off? Come on. They can't maintain anything. After a while, they're going to have to go into hiding because so many people are going to be after them. Yeah, I mean, we did. We did. We literally built this country. If we weren't here, America would be no more than a third world nation. They can't make the claim that they made America what it is. We made America what it is. We did. I have a feeling you will be alive. I think we all will be. Well, I would tell them they can come and take their Jesus back. We never asked for it, and they can have it back. It has never been of any use to us. I mean, it has never been of no use to us knowing their Jesus. That fakery, just like everything else that comes from them, fakery. But no, they are not the inventors of anything. They didn't invent anything, y'all. All those inventions they keep mentioning came from us. Or they'll say to you, well, they were slaves, so everything belongs to the master. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. It came from us. That they stole it, Mr. Lawrence, because they can't create anything without us. All they do is piggyback off of anything we've done. They don't invent nothing from scratch. And every time they claim they invented something, when you go back and look at the history, it wasn't even a white person. And I mean everything. Yeah, but Lisa Green, take a look at that picture of their alleged Jesus. Okay. Now, he's supposed to be a Hebrew, right? He's supposed to be Hebrew, but he's a white man in Roman clothing. Every picture you see of him, he's in Roman clothing, but he's supposed to be a Jew. They can't even, they couldn't build Egypt. They couldn't even build America. If they did not show to you that they built America, how the hell did they build Egypt? They didn't even build America. Okay. They didn't build Egypt. Well, see, that's what the internet has done. A lot of people will say, yeah, there's a lot of evil on the internet. And I do agree with that. But the one thing the internet has done, it has woken many of us up. Most of us, when we went through our awakening, we went through the awakening at the time we were using the internet. So in that sense, it has been good. Yeah, and remember, even back during slavery, there was no such thing as sunscreen. They didn't have sunscreen at all when we were brought, when they came over here to America, there was no sunscreen. And we already see what they look like without sunscreen. We see what they look like with sunscreen on the shelf. Like I said, they got sunscreen on the shelf for years now, and they still walk around in the summer flaming red. You can still see them walking around all red, and they got sunscreen on the shelf. So if you can't even invent a sunscreen that works, what makes you think you invented anything else? You can't even put a sunscreen on the shelf that works. The funny part is, I bet you if Black people made the sunscreen, it would work. It would have worked. You know what, Kathy, I'm glad they can't see it. It makes it that much sweeter. Once they wake up and realize what's going on, it's going to be far too late. It's already too late. Already too late. But they're not going to wake up. Just look at it this way. They're not going to wake up over anything Black people say. Because they try to downplay everything we tell them. It's not important. They try to downplay it and everything, but it's going to be to their detriment. So let it happen. I don't care. I don't care if they never listen to me. I really don't care. I don't care. I don't care because I already know what the end result is going to be. Yeah, yeah, they want to control everything because, a lot of them do know we're waking up. A lot of them know this, ladies and gentlemen. They're not ignorant or blind to it. They don't want it to happen, but it's definitely happening. Our awakening is happening big time. Yeah, brand 83N, and it's fear too. It's fear. Why they know the truth, but they're feeling a lot of fear. Right. And it's going to be history repeating itself, y'all. It's going to be history repeating itself. When you go to the biblical text, who killed Esau? Who killed Esau? Who killed Esau? Esau was killed. Who killed Esau in the Bible? Do you know? Them? No, Jacob killed Esau. Jacob. Jacob killed Esau. Yes. Hi, Greater Days. Yeah, Jacob killed Esau. Well, there are foolish people. Remember, in Mr. Lawrence in Deuteronomy, the Most High tells you it's going to be a foolish nation of people ruling us. You can't get more foolish than them. Seriously. Look, these people come from ancestors that thought the world was flat and you were going to fall over the side. Look this up. This is the people they came from. The world was flat and they were going to fall over the edge of the earth. And they thought if they took a bath, the water was going to harm them. Never lose sight of the fact that the Moors had to strip down naked and take baths in front of them to show them that the water was not going to harm them. They had to teach them how to get in the damn tub and wash themselves and not be afraid of the water. It was the Moors that did that. Well, I mean, there's a lot of Bibles that I know a lot of people read. I know people that read the Blue Letter Bible, and they seem to like that. A lot of people love the King James Version, and they feel that you should stick with that. Right now, I'm reading the original 1611 King James Version, and it's quite interesting because it's introducing the language in a whole different way. Jacob killed Esau. Yeah, they were afraid of water. That's why they wouldn't take any baths. And it was the Moors that took baths in front of them because the idiots wouldn't get in the water. They thought the water was going to harm them. But see, that's who they come from. These are the people they came from. So, and they're just as silly as their forefathers were. You know, their forefathers were silly. They're silly. They're more like the master fool. Well, you know, the bubonic plague um, got them in the European countries, but it didn't happen in Africa. And the reason why it didn't happen in Africa is because whenever the village would become overran with mice, our people would just get up and move. We would just get up and move to another area in Africa. These Europeans would just live in squalor. They would live in varmint and squalor and all kinds of shit. They wouldn't move. They didn't leave. So when the mice started overrunning areas, they just continued to live, sleep, and eat in those areas where it was tons of mice. That's what killed them. Yeah, I mean, but that plague never happened in Africa. And it's happening now in Ethiopia because they took it in there. That's not a natural disease to Africa. They took it in there trying to depopulate the place. Just like they tried to take in Ebola, making an attempt to depopulate certain parts of West Africa. It didn't work because the biggest problem with Ebola, whenever the conditions get hot, which is very easy over in Africa for the weather to get hot, once the weather gets hot, the strain of Ebola weakens and it just dies out. That's why you hear about the Ebola and then weeks later, it practically dies completely out because that particular virus can't survive in that African intense heat that they have over there. That's why every time they make an attempt to use that disease on the African population, it's probably good for like 2-3 weeks and then it just starts dying out because the temperature, it can't survive in that African temperature. Yeah. Yeah, all of those diseases, none of those are natural diseases. Those are not natural diseases. The only natural diseases that our people got in the past when they were in Africa was malaria. And that came from your mosquitoes. That was the natural diseases that our ancestors got. And once you get malaria and you recover from it, you're immune to it. You're completely immune to it. And that was the only one that we did get. But a lot of the other diseases we didn't get until we came around this Caucasian. Prior to that, when we were in our natural state in Africa, we didn't get sick. It was rare for us to even be sick. And plus, remember, in Genesis, the Most High said he put the herbs on the earth so that we could heal ourselves. So that tells you literally everything we need, cancer, Alzheimer's, all that, all the herbs are right here on the earth for us to heal ourselves. We shouldn't have any of that stuff. But the problem is you got people in our way from us living a normal and natural life. They're doing everything to block you from doing that. But he said he gave us the herbs so that for medicine. And he gave us the fruit for food. Yeah, it's always short because it can't live in that African sun, the hitman KO. That's why Ebola, every time they attempt to use it on the African population, it never lasts long because it can't. So the virus itself can't survive in that kind of intense heat that's over there in Africa. Yeah, Yoruba, Yoruba, Gary, we didn't even eat sugar. Do you know we never had sugar in our diet until we came over here, until these Europeans came over here? Prior to that, we didn't even touch sugar. Sugar was never even in our regular diet at all. Yeah, we lived a very healthy lifestyle. We didn't have all these, the issues that we have now is because we're living their poor eating habits. American diet is very poor. It's a very poor diet and it's unhealthy. And this is why so many people are walking around fat. You got diabetes, you got high blood pressure. It's because of the food. This is all attached to the food. The diet is extremely poor. It's probably one of the worst diets on the entire planet. Right. The Most High never wanted us to have sugar. He never wanted us to have sugar. We did not have sugar at all. Sugar is one of those things that was introduced to us by this European. We weren't thinking about no damn sugar, and it was not part of our diet. Yeah, I mean, all they did was introduce a bunch of junk to us and they call it their diet. The American diet is number one, is too much fried food. You ever notice it's just too much fried food? It's like everything they want to take it to a fryer. It's like, damn, everything is about fried foods. You look at these fast food restaurants, I would say 97% of them all serve nothing but a bunch of fried crap. Yeah, Africans have always been slimmer. Hmm. Especially if they're eating their natural diet, yes. But as soon as you eat this white man stuff, forget it. You're going to have all kinds of health issues. And we see that with all of the heart disease and diabetes and everything that's in the Black community is because we're eating their diet. We're eating a diet that was never intended for us to eat. Just listen to, them describing their food artificially, naturally flavored. Why would you have to flavor fruit? It's just all kinds of crazy shit. You're right, Sheila Moore. They may figure out how to fry water. You're right about. Woo, yeah, you're right about that. But yeah, if you notice, everything about their diet is fried this and fried chicken and fried burgers and French fries and everything, fried apple pies and I mean, everything is just deep fried. That's all these people. No wonder why no wonder why you see so many fat white people walking around here. Right, seedless grapes. They take something natural and make it unnatural. So they're making it just as non-productive as they are. So you need the seeds to grow more grapes, right? So if you grow it without the seeds, then it can't reproduce itself unless there are seeds. They can't reproduce, the fruit can't reproduce, and the place is going to hell. I use raw honey every day, Mr. Lawrence. I put it in my smoothie every single day. Yeah, it doesn't mean you have to eat it because they target us. Always remember that, brand 83. And they can target us all they want. It doesn't mean we have to touch it. Yeah, a lot of places don't have seeded grapes. In fact, I got into a little thing with the supermarket near me. I was trying to find some seeded grapes, and everything they had was seedless. And they do that with watermelon too, but the good thing is I grow my own watermelon, so I don't have to deal with theirs. Yeah, they pork in everything. Even in non-food items, they put a lot of pork in things. So you have to really be careful with that. Kira, if you get the diatomaceous earth, trust me, it's going to get rid of your extra weight because it puts your body into a detox. A lot of people notice a weight loss after maybe like 3 to 4 weeks after they start doing the diatomaceous earth. No, but you know what? You got to understand, our bad eating habits started back through slavery. During slavery, they wouldn't give our people nothing but pork, and they knew we weren't supposed to have pork, but that was the only thing they would give us. Shit with all kinds of pork in it, or straight up pork. And that's why you still to this day see so many Black people eating pork, because that mess was introduced to us through slavery. They would give us all of the pork that they wouldn't eat. They would give that to the slaves. So a lot of that is passed down through the family, and people still eat, the Black community still eats way too much pork. Shouldn't be eating any. We can't eat what they eat. They can eat it, and their hybrid bodies are fine, but our human bodies are not fine. Yeah, I never tried that smoothie diet. Never tried that. Um, well, yeah, I mean, chitlins, those were things that were given to our people during slavery. So, it's not like they could pick their own menu. So they just made the best of it with the pork they were given. But we were never supposed to touch that. Yeah, we were never supposed to have that kind of stuff, and they knew it. They knew we were not supposed to eat that. No, that's why Mr. Lawrence 777, um, that's why we have so many health problems because the pork is toxic to our system. You really won't miss it. That's the thing, hood mistress. I stopped eating it probably like around 2010, and you really don't miss the pork. You don't miss it at all. Once you get away from it, I think a lot of our people, they think they're going to miss something if they don't have their pork, and really it's the opposite. Believe me, once I walked away from it, I noticed I didn't miss it at all. Well, yeah, Kathy, I was reading, this is one day when I was in the doctor's office, and there was a magazine on the table, and I wish I could remember which one, but it was this German doctor that they had interviewed in this magazine, and I was reading it. And he actually said pork is so bad, no one on this planet should be eating it. He said nobody should be touching pork on this earth at all. He said that's how bad it is. And he was saying that when you eat pork, it actually changes your DNA. It actually merges in with your DNA when you eat it. But I'll never forget him saying that. He said nobody on this planet should be touching pork. No one. And the Most High put the pigs here to clean the earth. That's what they were really intended for. They weren't intended for you to eat. They were supposed to be on the earth, cleaning the earth, because they literally eat anything. So that's what they were used for back during the biblical times and ancient times. That's what people used pigs for. It was to keep everything clean. But they were never intended for you to eat. You didn't have a garbage dump. Whenever you had a bunch of garbage, all you did was bring in the pigs, and the pigs would eat everything up. That's what the pigs were for, to keep it clean. You didn't have garbage dumps and all this stuff that you see today. We didn't have that stuff, y'all. We didn't have that stuff. That's what we used the pigs for. S-Mac, they'll sell a down pig, a pig that can't even get up and walk. My my grandfather on my dad's side used to raise pigs. And like mad cow disease, pigs actually get a form of that disease too, where they shake and they can't walk, and they call them a down pig because they can't do anything but just lay there all day. And a man came out to inspect two of his pigs because one could get up and walk, but it shook real bad, and the other one couldn't walk at all. So this man told my grandfather to dig two deep holes out in the woods and shoot these pigs and bury them. He told them, don't even try to sell them or eat them, just kill them. And that's what he did. He took them out in the woods, dug two deep holes, and he shot them both in the back of the head. And and they're selling those pigs on the market, and they're not supposed to do that. but they don't care. So you have to really be careful. You know, it's not a coincidence that even people get mad cow's disease. And that's because these down cows, they're slaughtering them and they're selling that shit on the market, and they're not supposed to do that. Well, yeah, we're not supposed to eat. Remember, we can't have fish with no scales. Catfish don't have scales. You're not supposed to touch a catfish. And shrimp, you can't have those. Those shrimps are really there to clean the ocean. That's what their job is. They're bottom feeders. They clean the ocean. Yeah, I think Dr. Sebi did say something like that. Yeah, they are toxic. That's why we get so sick when we eat the pork. We get sick. You want to hear something funny? Um, I saw an article over the summer, and I forgot what state this was. They were selling a bacon milkshake. I kid you not, a bacon milkshake. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? A bacon milkshake? They were selling a bacon milkshake. It was some fast food joint. I can't remember what state it was. I was like, that is disgusting. Bad enough eating a pig. Now you're going to drink one? Yeah, that's what this German doctor was saying when I was reading this article in a magazine. He said pork actually changes your DNA. And he said nobody on this earth should be touching pork. Yeah, it was some fast food joint, and they were selling a bacon milkshake. A bacon milkshake. Well, it'll catch up to you over time, but you know, we were never supposed to have pig. If you read the book of Leviticus, it tells you which animals we can have and what vegetables and fruit. It gives you exact information down to the letter of what we should be eating. And pork is not on the list. Remember, he says you have to eat the animal that chews the cud, and it has the split hooves. He's very explicit on what we are supposed to have. We are not supposed to have pork. You know, pigs do chew on the grass, but they eat a lot of other things. That's why we can't have it. It's an unclean animal. Remember, we have clean animals and we have unclean animals, and pigs are unclean. Just look at the book of Leviticus. It'll tell you exactly what you can have. Yeah, I grow one every year too, just glowing. I have a garden every year. I mean, there's days I don't even have meat. I didn't have any meat today. I had actually made myself a salad. I did not have any meat. I have no meat today. But you got to understand, your caucasoids, they ate a whole different diet because they had a very different existence from us. Up in those caves, they ate raw meat. They caught animals and they ate them raw. So they were all into the meat, where we lived a more vegetarian type life. When we were not tampered with, we were living a more vegetarian type life. And they were eating a bunch of raw meat and stuff because they weren't cooking their food. And when they were up in those caves, they were eating every damn thing raw. So their existence as far as food is concerned was very different from ours. Yeah, well, remember, we can't have any fish that don't have scales and fins. Catfish don't have any scales. So that's a fish that we're not supposed to have. Yeah, I saw Mars Attack. I actually thought that movie was kind of funny. Yeah, that's true, Kara. They do get tapeworms from eating raw meat. That's very true. But, I'm just saying, when they come from people that ate very differently from us, we had totally different diets. When they were up in those caves, they ate whatever they could. They ate anything they could. And, they had to be a terrible existence because in many parts of the world, those caves, were in places that got cold. And it's not like, when you look at those caves, it's not like you had a front door. They remember they lived in those caves and they didn't have no front door. So it's not like when winter time came, you could close your door, and it was nothing like that. Yeah, they still eat their meat raw. If you look online, Duma, they have the caveman diet, and they eat raw meat. Yeah, I believe tilapia is a hybrid fish. Like I said, they've taken our natural world and made it unnatural. That's exactly what happened. We had a very natural existence, but when they came on the scene 6,000 years ago, they made this entire planet unnatural. And it's been unnatural ever since. Yeah, I had a friend that used to she was from Haiti. I had a friend that was from Haiti, and she used to love red snapper. That was one of her favorite fish. It was like back in the day, probably like around the like the 90s, 2000s, and she used to love red snapper. The Chinese are some very filthy, nasty people. Pull up some of those factories that they work in. They're disgusting. Well, Kathy, first of all, look at what the Most High did when he placed us on this earth. He put the black people where all the resources are, and he put them where there were no resources at all. I mean, that should say a lot right there. That should say plenty right there. Oh, yeah, they'll eat an octopus, June Williams. They'll eat it while it's still living. Yes, I actually saw a video of how they deep fry dogs. They got a big fryer and they put the dog in the fryer, deep fry it, and they eat the dog. It's disgusting. I wouldn't be surprised, Kira. Everything has been tampered with on this earth. Like I said, they've made the world unnatural. You know, that's why it's important that we try to stick with the natural things as much as possible. I know sometimes it's just not possible, but whenever you can, you know, just sticking with the natural things as much as possible. But you know what? The Most High said he knew they were going to tamper with everything. And we would be eating pork unknowingly, and those things have happened. Yeah, they come from incest, and that's why in the Bible, C.K. Nelson, in the Bible, it says they can't even enter the kingdom. They can't even enter the kingdom. They have to be destroyed, period. So this world is their last chance. Once this Gentile world is over, you will look up and there will be no more Chinese and Japanese and Koreans and all them. They're going to be completely eliminated because of how they came about. They came about through incest. That's why they look the way they do. They come from incest. That Moab will not Moab will not enter the kingdom at all. Ooh, it can't come at all. Yeah, they are you know, the pigs are like a walking trash can. That's really what they are. They're like a walking trash can with legs. Yeah, we can, you know, even do a discussion about the Bible. Absolutely, True Royal. I mean, that's not a problem. I think we have a lot of very knowledgeable people around here when it comes down to the Bible too. So that would be a nice thing to do. Well, yeah, it's believed that they came from Lot and his daughters, the Moabites. Remember, after Sodom and Gomorrah and his daughters had sex with him, and that's where they came from. That's why the Most High said they will not be allowed to enter the kingdom. So after this world is done, it is pretty much over for them. You won't see them around anymore. They're all going to be eliminated. I've read mine, Alicia C. I've read mine 4 times. And it's almost like, it's amazing because the Most High has it where each time we do a read through, we pick up something new. It's almost like you read it, it, but then there's always something you pick up again when you read it once more. And you just have to pray for the discernment so that you can understand what you're reading. And when you pray for that, you will get the understanding. At least I always have, just from that prayer. I'm going to read this chapter, and my Abba, please help me understand and give me the discernment to understand what I'm reading. And I always understand what I'm reading. Always. You ask for understanding, he'll make sure you get it. Yeah, they're a disgusting animal. Um, I remember my father was telling me when he would see pigs eat their slop, he said sometimes snakes would get into the pig slop and the pigs would go up and eat everything, the live snakes and everything, eat everything. I mean, they are literally walking trash cans. That's what they are. Yeah, it's always good to start and read it again. I've done that quite a few times. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, we can do 1611. Like I said, there's no J in the entire Bible when you read it. It's like a whole different experience. Oh, really, Kara? Yeah. I've used live stream on a cell phone before, but um I don't think I've done it with my channel, but I have done it before. Yeah, that's what they are. They're Down syndrome faces because that's what they come from. They come from incest, father and daughter. So that's why the Most High said they will never step foot in the kingdom. They can't come in because of the way they came about in this world. That's why they're not going to be permitted to come into the kingdom. So pretty much for Moab and all the other Asians, this is it. This is the end of the road for them. When the Bible talks about we will have handmaidens and servants, they can't even be a handmaiden and servant. He don't want them at all. They gotta all be eliminated. Bus running down there. Actually, a deer is a clean animal. You can have a deer. That's a clean animal. Yeah, a deer is a clean animal. It does nothing but chew the cud, chew grass. That's it. So that animal you can have, what they call venison. Yeah, bacon is terrible. I remember when do you know I used to get up and microwave my bacon and put my little sandwich together, and I would drive to work nibbling on my bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich that I would make from home. I could kill myself for doing that now. I wish I never did it. But that was the time before I was even knew who I was and still into Christianity. Not only that, I had a American Eskimo dog, and I used to even give him a few pieces of bacon. I did all that stuff. Yes, a goat is a clean animal. We can have goat. Yeah, deer is fine. You can have a deer. A deer is considered a clean animal. Yes, elk is also a clean animal. You can have elk. Buffalo is also clean. Anything that you know that chews the cud, that animal you can have. Yep, you can have goat cheese, goat milk. You can have venison. You're right. Your deer. There's a lot of things we can have. So for people to think, oh, if I eat the foods the Most High tells me to eat, I'm going to miss out on this and that. You won't miss anything. Trust me. You won't miss anything. Oxtail. You can have oxtail. Yeah, my mom used to do that too. We would have, pork in the greens, and oh man, I can't even picture myself doing that now. Yeah, turkey bacon, you can have that. Yeah, you can have buffalo meat. Camel, no, you can't have camel. Camel is not a clean animal. No, you can't have rabbits. Rabbits have paws. You can't eat anything that got paws. If it got paws, you can't have it. Yes, it will. Moab will be out of here. Moab will be out of here. The Elizabeth 125. Moab is living their last life on this earth. Right. It's okay for your goat to have hooves. That's what you want. And remember, you can have lamb. You know, that's another one that you can have. Yeah, my mom had one of my aunts used to have possum. They used to bake it in the oven with yams, and I wouldn't eat it though. They would always try to catch a possum and then bake it in the oven. No, right. Dogs have paws. Remember, you can't have anything with paws. If it got paws, you can't eat it. No, that those are shellfish, clams, oysters, mussels, all shellfish. You can't have that. Those things are supposed to be left in the ocean to keep the ocean clean. Yeah, lamb chops are fine, and they're in fact, lamb is really good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Clams and oysters are unclean. You cannot have those. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Kira. I don't really go there that much. Under normal circumstances, salmon would be good, but you got to be careful about what you eat out of the ocean now. I thought I was going to miss crab because I used to eat crab. I used to eat lobster, shrimp. I had all that stuff, but I have not had that stuff in so many years. And to be honest with you, I don't miss it as much as I thought I would. No, you can't have octopus. You can't have that. Yeah, you can't have eels. Let me tell you a story about eels. When they first came over here to America, and they would walk through bodies of water with their horses. Do you know in America back then, there was a lot of eels in the water back during the 1600s in America. So when these founding fathers and all these men would go on horseback through bodies of water, the eels would actually leap out of the water and attach it and attack the horse's belly and kill the horse. Because the eels in America, there were a lot of electric eels in America. And when they first came to this land, the eels were killing not only the horses, but were killing them. They were electric eels. Yeah, I heard Africans love a lot of vegetables, you know, um, in their food. And I remember, like I said in one of my videos, I had a friend from Sierra Leone, and he used to talk about the peanut soup is supposed to be real popular, a popular dish in Africa. Peanut soup. Yeah. Yeah, Loretta's a pretty cool cat. I haven't had her that long, you know. My dog died in 2016, and I said I was not going to get another dog. It was just too sensitive for me. I had him for 19 years. And I got Loretta in March. I've had Loretta since March of this year. And I got her when she was about 8 months old. She's a year old now. Oh, okay, in Ghana. Yeah, it's so sad what has happened to the ocean, thanks to the Japanese. Can't eat the fish that that we once did. I'm not surprised that they eat monkey brains. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if they eat the whole damn monkey. I wouldn't put nothing past them. Yeah, um, a shellfish. Yeah, unfortunately in this world, we have eaten many things we were not supposed to have. And that's why we're suffering from so many illnesses now because we were never supposed to touch it in the first place. Yeah, he used to always tell me about the peanut soup, and he said that that was a real popular thing in Africa. They eat monkey hips. Oh man. Ooh. Monkey hips, huh? Oh wow. It just seems like we got messed up just from being in the captivity here and everything. It has messed us up. It's taken toll on our health, and we, not intentionally, but we have not been following our dietary laws that we had, and we know why they got us away from our dietary laws, but it doesn't mean we can't go back to doing those things as much as possible. Um, hmm. No, you can't have frog legs. A frog is not a clean animal. That's unclean. Tarantula? I wouldn't, no defense, but I never, I would never eat a tarantula. Really? I used to see frog legs, you know, when I used to back in the day, used to go to seafood restaurants, but I never ate them. I know a couple of people that I knew quite a few people that liked them, but I never ate them. Yes, a rabbit is unclean. Well, with Trump in office, we may not with Trump in office, we may see their ending a lot sooner than you think. This man is so unstable. So oh, okay. This man is so unstable. It is no telling. Uh, it's no telling what he's going to do. I think Trump is desperate enough. If this Russian investigation find him guilty, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to sneak a war in there to throw everybody off. Yeah, there's certain things you can have. Yeah, you know, you can have a locust and grasshoppers. Yes, there are certain bugs we can eat. Although I never tried it. No, why would somebody want to eat a cockroach? I don't understand that. Yeah, lamb is great. I like that too, Mr. Lawrence. I love lamb. I think it's very good. And then you got Israel who want to go to war with Iran so badly. They want a piece of Iran so badly. Yeah, you can have grasshopper and locust, yes. I mean, yeah, there are certain insects we can have. But see, we're not you got to also keep in mind, you know, you don't want to be repulsed by it because we never had an opportunity to really live and eat our regular diet. We never had the opportunity to do that. Yeah, you know, the fake Jews are there, but all of that's going to be sorted out by the Most High. You know, they are going to find out who we are. You know, they all got their purpose. You know, the bugs, they got their purpose here on the earth, you know, and um I guess we'll understand why they are here. And I mean, I know what some of them do and the purpose of some of them, but not definitely not all of them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I wouldn't eat no cockroach. I wouldn't even consider it. Oh, it's getting worse. And and I was reading how the fire out in California, the winds are like 80 miles an hour wind gusts. Oh my God. I'll never put those fires out. 80-mile-an-hour wind gust? Are you kidding me? Shoot, they should just go home. The firefighters should just go home. They're not gonna win. In fact, Shayla Yisrael, she put a video out about the fires, and she was talking about that too, the 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts in California. And I said, well, hell, they ain't gonna never put those fires out. I mean, they're gonna be spreading for sure. You can count on them spreading. Well, they could be, but the winds should not be suspect to you. They don't have no control over that wind. Oh, they're already over in the Israel fighting like hell ever since Trump made the announcement that Jerusalem would be the capital. But remember, you got a whole bunch of people fighting over land, and that land don't even belong to them. It don't belong to any of the people that's fighting over it. Oh, they got kicked out of a lot of countries, Yoruba Gary. The Ashkenazi Jews were kicked out of a lot of places because everywhere they go, they cause a lot of trouble. Now, look at all the trouble that's going on in Israel. Remember, it says when the Jews were restored back into their land, there would be peace on earth. There is no peace anywhere on this earth. There's not even peace in Israel. Are you kidding me? And that's another indicator that they're fake. They're not the real thing. There is no peace anywhere on this planet. Oh, okay. In Arizona, the winds have picked up. Yeah. You know what? It don't matter because all this stuff that we're seeing now is biblical, Yolanda Jenkins. And I knew he was going to do that. Don't do Trump does what he wants to do. He really does. But it doesn't matter what Trump declares because like I said, the land don't belong to any of them. They're fighting over something that don't belong to them and it never will belong to them. Yeah, that's right, Yolanda Jenkins. That's why they call them the synagogue of Satan. And just judging from how they have been living over there in Israel, I would say that's 100% true. Okay. Oh man. Well, yeah, trust me, many of those Ashkenazis, Jews over there, they know they're not the real thing. Many of them already know that. No, the whole thing is Israel, technically, the whole thing. And the Most High didn't give us that little spot of land. Are you kidding me? Israel runs all the way through that Middle East, all the way through Africa. That whole thing is Israel. But that's okay. When he restores us back, the entire planet is going to be Israel. The whole thing. I'm not surprised. I mean, you know, fake Jesus has done a lot of harm to our people, and that's probably why I hate him even more, because he's not real. And he's still to this day, this fake fairy looking Jew is still brainwashing our people to this day. And I really hate that. Yeah. Yeah. That's how, it's all the indicator. And not only that, mega school, old school 76, everything they do is contrary to what the Bible says. And that's also an indicator that they're not the real people. Everything they do is the opposite of what the Bible says, but they claim they're the real Jews. Yeah. Well, you know what? When I used to, no defense, but you know what I used to do when I was younger? When I showed, I don't know where she is. Loretta's downstairs. I'm upstairs, and I don't know where she is. I would have to go downstairs and pinpoint where she is. Um, I was going to say something. Now I can't remember what I was. Now I can't remember what I was going to say. But no, the Most High knew they were going to be masquerading as us, but they're not us. Come on. I used to look at them years ago, and I used to wonder why the Most High made them chosen, and they look so little and scrawny looking. In fact, there was one sitting next to me today, and I looked at him and I was like, why would the Most High pick these extremely pale, scrawny looking people as the chosen? It just never made any sense that he would choose these. To me, they look very weak. They don't look like a strong, powerful people. They look weak. And I would be like, why would he choose these little scrawny? And so many of the men are short. You ever notice how many of them are so like super short? I'm like, why would he choose these little flimsy looking people as his chosen? Now I know he didn't. Yeah, but I mean, do you ever take a good look at them? They're very scrawny. When did you ever look at an Ashkenazi Jew and thought he was big and powerful and strong? Never. And remember, it also said Judah is fast. Judah can run fast. Whenever you ever watch the Olympics and some Ashkenazi Jew won any type of running event, come on, you know these people ain't chosen. Chosen for what? That's what I want to know. Oh, they are. They skin cancer, I think, is the second highest in the world in Israel. They are, believe me, they're burning up over in Israel, just like they're burning up over here. Skin cancer is very bad over in Israel. And how do you belong in that region and you can't even handle the sun there? It makes no sense. Right. The Most High didn't make his chosen people with some big hook nose. Get out of here. That is so true. Oh. Yeah, they are frail looking, S-Mac. That's the thing. I used to always look at them and say, they're chosen? Them little scrawny looking people? Look. Shit, my dog looked more powerful than that when he was living. Looked more powerful than they. I just couldn't. Some of them are, and like I said, some of the men are so short, and I was like, this can't be right. This can't be right. And I used to always look at them and wonder why he would choose these little frail-looking people. It just never made any sense to me. And now I know he didn't choose them. Not to mention, you see how ugly the women are? Them some ugly, them Ashkenazi, them some ugly ass women, man. Them some ugly ass women. And it just don't match up with Judah. It says Judah is beautiful. You would look at the men and women of Judah and they were beautiful. When you look at them, you don't hardly see no damn beauty. You don't see not 1 ounce of beauty when you look at those people. Them women got to be some of the most ugliest I have ever seen in my life. Them some ugly ass. Those women are ugly as I don't know what. They are butt ugly. Right. They don't act any different. You're right, Kathy. Kathy, you let something go down about race, they gonna side with the other white people because they are white people. They sure ain't gonna side with us. Yeah, yeah, they're ugly and they're all short and scrawny looking. I'm like, I just I was like, I just didn't see anything appealing enough for them to even be picked as chosen people. Yeah, they are ugly, Kathy. Kathy, both the men and women. They're ugly. And I and it says Judah is beautiful. Judah is a beautiful people. They didn't say nothing about they're hideous. Yeah, they are. They are August dreams. They are hideous looking. They are not attractive at all. Pull up a picture of Ashkenazi or one of them Orthodox Jews over there in Israel. Just pull up a picture and you talking about them. Is that beauty you're looking at? Are you kidding me? They look like rats. They look like a damn sewer rat. Yeah, I know the tall mud. They used the tall mud, and the Most High never told us to look at no damn Talmud. And that right there, you're right. It's just a satanic Bible or their satanic book. He never told us to go buy some damn Talmud. And that's all that, again, those are all indicators that they're not the people. All indicators right there. Right. And they don't even fit the Deuteronomy 28 curses. You're absolutely right. Mega old school. Absolutely right. They don't match nothing in there. And then and you notice the men always wear those black suits. Now where in our biblical text did it tell you to wear a big black hat on your head and a black suit? Where does it say that? They look like undertakers. They look like a bunch of undertakers. When did he ever tell you to dress like that and that was the only thing you were supposed to put on is a black suit and some big black hat on your head and that's all you were allowed to wear? Where does it say that in the Bible? It doesn't say that anywhere. Oh, that's okay. I don't want to touch them. I don't want to touch that. I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with not touching them. I don't have no desire to touch them anyway. I'm not sure if milk causes cancer, but I don't drink cow's milk. I don't drink it at all. Yeah, they called those serpents. Remember, before they were called um, not Hebrews, but Jews, they were called serpent people. If you look in Genesis, they were known as serpent people. That's why they wear those tendrils. I don't know what those things are. Most High didn't tell you to wear your hair like that. And he didn't tell you to wear a black suit every day with a big old black hat on your head. He didn't tell you that's not written anywhere. Wearing black and being black is two different things. Yeah. Yolanda Jenkins, have you ever met one that you wanted to touch? They don't have to tell me not to touch them. I will, just by natural instinct, I don't want to touch them. Yeah, they speak Yiddish. Exactly. And even when you listen to their music, that shit is Russian. That's the same music they play out of Russia. And they talking about that's Israeli music. No, it isn't. That's Russian music. Listen to Russian music and then listen to that stuff they play in Israel that they call Israeli music. It's the same thing. That shit is from Russia. Right. And remember, and you would be going to prison. Remember, we're going to be poor. We're going to be, who's going to prison more than anybody in America? The black man. Yeah, Amish. You're right, Kathy. And like I said, and when I hear what they call Israeli music, that's nothing but the same shit they play over in Russia. It's not any different. Yeah, I heard all that incest shit they do, which is disgusting. Yeah, I mean, it could be, Kara. I'm not sure. I never studied that, but I wouldn't doubt that it causes cancer. I would not doubt it one bit that milk causes cancer. Would not. But you know what? They're not fooling me with those black suits and those big hats. They gotta dress like that because they can't handle the sun over there. They can't handle the sun. So they gotta dress where they gotta cover themselves up as much as possible. It's not working because Israel got the second highest rate of cancer in the world. So it's not helping them one bit. They are wizards. No, they to me they look like undertakers with all that black on. I don't know. I have never seen one that's really tall. I'm telling you, most of the men that I see, a lot of them are shorter than me, and I'm 5'6". And when I come across their men, many of them are shorter than me. And that's why I said, why would he choose these little scrawny ass looking people? They're the absolute opposite of us. Seriously, they are the 100% opposite of us. Yeah, Kara, you can try some of the other milk, maybe like coconut milk or even almond milk for your coffee. That's another option where you're getting it from a natural source instead of getting it from a cow that they probably injected all kinds of hormones in. Yeah, they're short little men, and the women too. Yeah, well, that like I said, Vanguard, it's a big difference between wearing black and being black. There's a hell of a difference. Yeah, almond milk is good. I buy that, and I also buy the coconut milk. They look like midgets. Yeah, they do. They are. They are midgets. Yeah, and plus they're very pale and washed out looking too. Many of them are very pale. All right, you're 6'1". Okay. Yeah, then they would look like midgets next to you. Yeah, we were just talking about that, the true royal family. We were talking about those 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts that they were having out there. And they already said, because I was listening to one newscast, and they were saying that right now battling that fire is a lost cause because of all the wind. Really is a lost cause. Yeah. The coconut milk is very inexpensive too. I buy a little carton of it all the time, and it's really not that much money. Yeah, I saw those mansions on fire too. That's crazy. It's crazy what's happening. I mean, I thought the Napa fire was bad enough. I never in a million years thought we would see one that would be worse. I just thought it was not going to be possible to see one that was worse. Yeah, and same here. The men in my family are tall too. That's how we know they're real Judah. That's how we know. Wow. True Royal, is that true? Wow. 5 hours away and you can still smell it? Oh man, that tells you how massive that fire is. Wow. Yeah, that's what I heard. It's a more homes gone. And last time I read, and that was quite a few hours ago, it was, I think, 90,000 acres. It could be well past that now, especially if it's windy. Yeah, my brother is 6'3". My brother is 6'3" also. I think the tallest in my family is 6'5". I have a cousin that's 6'5". I wouldn't be surprised. America got a lot of enemies. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, that, they set those fires. Yes, Jacob killed Esau. That's correct, Sharon. Yeah, well, I know when I woke up early this morning, I had watched weather.com, and they were talking about the wind gusts being record breaking in California. And then I later saw some articles saying that, they had wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour. That's not even far from hurricane winds when you really think about it. I think the last time I was 5'4", I probably was in junior high school. I think that was the last time. Yeah, they are. Some of them look like girls too. Them Asian men. Some of them look female. Yeah, well, it might act ultimately burn all month. Once they get big and out of control, those fires, those are not easy to put out. It's not easy to put out, especially if it's a dry condition and you got wind on top of your dry condition, like it is out there. Yeah, it's not easy for them to put that kind of fire out. That's difficult, even if you're a professional firefighter. It doesn't matter. You know, Kathy, both of my grandmothers were both short women, but all of them had tall children. I just don't, I never could get that, but they did. My grandmothers on both my mother and father's side are short. If they're 5 feet tall, I might be giving them too much credit. They were both little women, both short and didn't weigh nothing. They were tiny women, but had tall children. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they know who set those fires. I wouldn't be surprised if they know who set Napa and they're just not telling you. Because I heard the same rumors about Napa. I was hearing that they said it was Mexicans that started that Napa fire. Now, I don't know how true it is because I never heard no follow-up on it, but I know some people were saying that. Yeah, that's how my grandmother was, Mr. Lawrence. My grandmother on my mom and my father's side, or if they're 5 feet tall, I might even be giving them a few inches. And when I was growing up, I don't even think either one of them weighed 100 pounds. They were really tiny, really super tiny women. And but all the kids they produced were tall. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that fire's bad because I tell you what, there's a lot of news reports coming out by the hour about it. That's how I know it's pretty bad. When you see them constantly reporting, like on a 24-hour news cycle like that, it's a very significant fire out there in California. Definitely. Okay, look like there's a few more hangouts going on. Company is Himalayan Glow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah, if those of you are on here, if you're not subscribed to the True Royal family, definitely get over there and subscribe to her channel. All right, y'all, I'm going to get off of this hangout. I want to thank you all for coming. And, there's a few more health hangouts we'll do. and then you can decide what you want, doing the dry skin brushing or using the diatomaceous earth and a few other things that we're going to talk about, in the coming hangouts. And we'll probably have another one over the weekend. I'm thinking maybe like around Sunday, we can have another hangout again. But until then, everybody, please take care of yourselves, and until the next hangout, peace.